One day, you wake up feeling a bit groggy. The last thing you remember is flying to Eastern Europe and having a great time sightseeing. After that, you have some vague memories of a drug deal gone wrong with a group of Russian gangsters and their leader smiling and saying, "Maybe it's time for our friend here to take a dirt nap." He laughed, and so did his gangsters. What you thought was a bad use of American idioms turned out to be very literal. Now you're 6 feet underground and stuck in a coffin. How will you get out of this mess? People often worry about being buried alive. In 2018, a shocking 15% of people who were buried were mistakenly buried alive. Just kidding. We made that up to scare more claustrophobic fans, but they should feel a lot better knowing that being buried alive is so rare that there is no official number for how often it happens. Yes, that has happened. And back in the 1800s, people were very afraid that there were special coffins that came with a piece of string tied to a bell above the grave. If someone thought they were dead when they weren't, all they would have to do is ring the bell again. However, we couldn't find any proof that this has ever happened in real life. But what if it happened to you first? We'll be honest with you and tell you that you'll need a lot of luck and it will be very hard to get out. So hard, in fact, that right now millions of people could be desperately trying to dig themselves out of an early grave, only to suffocate and die. So who can say? Maybe 15% of people are really buried while still alive. We looked into it, and there's no official way to tell if a body buried somewhere is really a body. If, on the other hand, your family chose to have you embalmed, you have nothing to worry about. If you weren't dead before the mortician touched you, you definitely are after he sucked out all your blood and replaced it with chemicals. Embalming, on the other hand, is not required by law. Instead, your family could ask that you be kept in the fridge until the funeral. This is a cheaper alternative to being embalmed, and it will help you stay semi-fresh and crisp, so that your family can say goodbye to you without you looking like a zombie. If you saw our last episode about the man who was frozen for 12 hours and still lived, you already know that chilling a body can help it stay alive. The cold can slow down the activity of your cells so much that you need less oxygen and your heart can pump less blood and still keep you alive. Though, if you're buried alive, you probably did something bad with the Russian mob, who, by the way, find it hilarious to put their enemies in coffins while they're still alive and watch them try to get out. Even if you don't believe it, you have a very small chance of staying alive in this situation. So what are your options? First, try to calm down. Have you ever been in the middle of a fight and been told to calm down? Think about how it only made you more angry. Well, you're going to have to calm down this time, because waking up in a coffin is going to be a pretty scary and traumatic experience. We wouldn't blame you for freaking out, either. But whatever you do, don't. That's because when your boyfriend or girlfriend tells you to calm down when you're acting crazy, you can ignore the advice because there's so much free oxygen. But since you're choking down your anger in a buried coffin, you're on a very tight oxygen budget. And if you woke up in the coffin, that means you've been sleeping for who knows how long and gulping down oxygen by the mouthful. Freaking out the whole time will only make you breathe more, but it won't help you at all. Now is the time to clear your mind and try meditating. Focus on slowing down your breathing and keeping your emotions in check. Step back to take stock. This may seem like a no-brainer, but once you've calmed down, check the inside of your coffin. If you have a pocket knife, a belt buckle, or anything else that's hard and stiff, that would be great. You could tap your coffin lid rhythmically with a belt buckle and hope that someone up there can hear you. If you were accidentally buried alive, there's a good chance that someone is still paying their last respects or putting the finishing touches on your grave. If you have a pocket knife, It will be helpful as you try to break out of the coffin. People are being buried with cell phones more and more, either by accident or on purpose, so that their loved ones can call them. Yeah, we don't get that one either, but hey, to each their own. If you have a cell phone on you, try dialing out. There's a small chance you'll have reception. If your carrier is T-Mobile, you're out of luck. Step 3, get ready to break out. Okay. You don't have a cell phone or you made the stupid choice to sign a contract with T-Mobile, which means you won't get any service anywhere, even in your coffin. Really, you should leave first. Let's just say that if you've been buried in a steel-lined coffin, it's over for you. Remember that pocket knife, you have two options, the fast way out or slow, lingering asphyxiation. But let's say you were buried in a much cheaper coffin made of wood or a very stiff cardboard box. This is one time when you'll be glad your family is cheap. Make a hole in the coffin so you can crawl out. But first, you need to make sure you can still breathe. Lift your shirt up over your head so it covers your head. Like when two hockey players fight, this will make a hood that your head can fit into. It will keep dirt out and help you get some air as you crawl up. Step 4, break out of the hood and get even with the living. Okay, you've got your shirt over your head to help you keep breathing while you dig your way out through at least a few feet of dirt. So when they dig you up a few years later, you'll look hysterically funny. Now, you need to find the middle of the lid of your coffin by touching it. This will be the weakest part of the structure because of science. It will be hard to get out because of the tight spaces, but you should start hammering here. You won't be able to break out, but you can bend the lid enough that the weight of the dirt above it should break it. Once you've done this, tear away the wood or heavy cardboard and push all the dirt to the bottom of your coffin while trying to move your body so your head doesn't get stuck. You'll have to wiggle around like a worm to move the dirt out of the way and hopefully down while making the lid's opening bigger. In time, you should be able to make a hole big enough to start climbing out. This is the easiest part because you were just buried, so all the dirt around you will be very loose and easy to dig through. Of course, it's all going to squeeze your little air bubble, so you'll have to move quickly. Once you're out and can finally take a breath of fresh air, you can freak out as much as you want. It will take some time to break free completely. But if you move around enough, you should be able to get your arms free, and then you can just pull yourself up and out. You've done it. You've come back from the dead, which is a twist on AMC's The Walking Dead that everyone saw coming. Now is the time to start over or, at the very least, switch phone companies. If you were buried alive, how would you stay alive? Let us know in the comments if the idea scares you. As always, if you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more great content.